Very good evening to all of you, all the distinguished guests. Shri Ravindra Kumar ji, Dr. B.S. Sastry Garu, and all other distinguished personalities who are present here for this meeting. A warm welcome to you. And today is an occasion where Srimaharshi Research Institute of Vedic Technology, popularly known as SRIVT, has come forward to complete 25 years of its research excellence, developing number of technologies in various areas. And yearly, this is an year to celebrate. And as a part of the celebration, still we have an international conference, but to initiate and to give tempo to the momentum, the memorial lecture is started, and today we have Silver Jubilee lecture number 10, 10th one, and we have very distinguished guest, Shri Ravindra Kumar ji, who is the director of the DRDO Industry Academia Center of Excellence at IIT Jodhpur. He will be talking to us on rich tradition of metallurgy in ancient India. And may I invite Sastry Garu to present about journey of SRIVT.
The SRIVT, Srimaharshi Research Institute of Vedic Technology, is established in 1999. The aim of this institute is to bring out the hidden knowledge of ancient science and technology inherited in our own ancient Indian treatises like Vaimanika Shastra, Samarangana Sutradhara, Bhojarajiyam, Aparajita Vriksha, and so many Rashashastra Granthas. So, SRIVT, our institute is a long journey, 25 years journey, just with the objective of to prove this knowledge and hand over to the current generation or next generation who can take it to the eternity. And we are successfully completed several projects on materials, and we are experts in green synthesis and green engineering. We have received national award and international UNO award also in green chemistry. We started working in 99. Since 1999, we have basically we developed in 2000 to 2004. We have developed 10 superalloys based on Vaimanika Shastra and tested, evaluated by the IIT Madras. Then next, we have entered surprisingly nanomaterials, and now in IIT Madras they used to call me as Nano Shastri. So using herbal extract, making nanomaterials is our expertise, and then our journey started with the first PSA, Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, our first project. Later, several projects with the DRDO and DST and ISRO we have successfully completed. Even we have done a project with even BHEL R&D on solar energy materials. So to name such some materials are nano copper for ship bottom coatings, nano copper for antimicrobial fabrics. We have also developed applications and proof of concepts on water purification and using nano zinc and zinc oxide and tin oxide for the sensor materials, gas and air sensor materials. So both materials and products and applications also we have developed so far. We have completed more than 20 sponsored projects by the DRDO and other government agencies. So our we are trying to bring out this all wealth of our India, our Bharata. So we are requesting you, and so many people supported us in this travel, and yeah, so we could prove the knowledge. We could the advanced science and technology. Uh, India has that power and caliber and all those things we have already proved. Now we entered in the 25th, completed a 25 years in this journey, SRIVT. Now we are conducting an international Vedic conference in Hyderabad T Hub in August 31st and September 1st. In this occasion, we are conducting weekly webinars with um, reputed and stalwarts in this area, both in modern science and who worked on ancient knowledge also. We are likely to um, invite them and conducting webinars. So successfully, this is, I think, 10th webinar. And for this, wholeheartedly, I am welcoming Shri Ravindra Kumar ji uh, for this webinar.
Namaste to you all. So we are very much glad to have with us in this webinar Shri Ravindra Kumar ji, Director of the DRDO Industry Academy Center of Excellence at IIT Jodhpur. He had illustrious career spanning over 39 years. He served as the Director of Defense Laboratory, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. It is our good fortune to have Shri Ravindra Kumar ji as the 10th speaker in this webinar, which is being conducted on the eve of the Silver Jubilee celebrations of SRIVT. With a bachelor's degree in engineering from IIT Roorkee and an MTech from IIT Bombay, Mr. Ravindra Kumar ji has made significant contributions to defense technology. Notable achievements include the development of innovative heat management technologies for the armed forces and indigenous technologies to safeguard fighter jets and naval ships. He has led groundbreaking projects that enhanced the survivability of war platforms. As Director of the Defense Laboratory Jodhpur, Mr. Ravindra Kumar oversaw the development and delivery of state-of-the-art technologies to the armed forces, forecasting collaborations with premier academic institutions and international research entities. He has received numerous awards, including Technology Group Awards and the Agni Award for Excellence in Self-Reliance. Mr. Ravindra Kumar ji has a notable publication record, including 6 granted patents and 3 filed patents. Additionally, he has authored 21 research papers published in journals and conferences and has contributed to 46 technical reports. Mr. Ravindra Kumar ji continues to drive innovation in advanced defense technologies, steering coordinated efforts between academia, industry, and DRDO laboratories. With this brief introduction, I hereby request Shri Ravindra Kumar ji to give a talk on rich tradition of metallurgy in ancient India. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you for inviting me for this talk. First of all, I want to thank Professor Sastry, who has invited me for this talk. I am not a scholar of Sanskrit, neither I am a authority on metallurgy, but I am a good reader, sir. And as a quest for my knowledge, because I am a metallurgist by education, so I have interest in ancient Indian metallurgy. And when I was reading the books like Vedas and these things, I find a rich description of metallurgy. So basically, metallurgy, if you see the extraction, purification, alloying, and application of metals, sir, and these 7 metals of antiquity, they have the description in Rigveda also, and later on in the text, like Arthastra, and then Ras Ratnakar Samuchay and other books, the full description of these metallurgy is there. In fact, it seems that the transition from stone age to metal age, the India was leading that transition, and we have very rich tradition of metallurgy, and this tradition was spread not only confined to some particular area, but it is spread all over India. Can I have some next one? So if you see the starting with the copper metallurgy in ancient India, Harappan civilization, and we find many copper ores which were distributed over the Rajasthan, Balochistan, Andhra, Odisha, Bihar, and Deccan, and then we were able to shape, melt the metal, make the alloys, and cast them into intricate shapes, and then coat them with the precious metals. So architectural evidences as well as the textual evidences are available from the literature that we were the master of all these technologies. And gold and silver metallurgy was very popular. It was used as a means of exchanges, like it was precious metals, then ornaments, and then coatings of the statues. This was utilized, and there were in the Musky region of Karnataka, we have mines almost 1 millennium BC old. So these technologies were very known to us. If you see the Arthastra, the rich descriptions of different type of gold is there, and how the people were cheating, also how to check those cheatings. They were knowing how to check the purity of the gold also. So those descriptions are available. Similarly, the iron metallurgy, the architectural evidences are available in the Mauryan periods. We have the famous Charmin, this Qutub Minar, this iron stand of this Qutub Minar, which is situated at the Qutub Minar. So we will be discussing all those things, sir. And the earliest Vedic text which mentions dark metal, it was in the later Vedas. The earlier Vedas having only the Ayas as description, which can be taken for copper and bronze also, or iron also. Next, please. And the other achievements of Indian metallurgy was woods metallurgy, woods steel, which was used for making the swords and these things. And earlier it was thought that it has gone from Arab countries to Europe, but in fact from to Arab also, it has gone from India, from South India. Wood steels were produced about 300 BC. In fact, the descriptions are there that Alexander, after winning over the Porus, and Porus has given him in the gift a few hundred pounds of wood steels, which can be utilized for making the swords. And the other major achievements of Indian metallurgy was the zinc metallurgy. In fact, it is written in the encyclopedia also that the zinc has been discovered in India first, and especially in the Rajasthan, this Jawar mines of Udaipur, we have found the retorts which were used for inverse distillation, and which is very peculiar for zinc metallurgy. I will be covering them also in my next slides. Next, please. So, social context of metallurgy in ancient India. See, the India's metal production was controlled by specific social groups. called tribes, and India was for a long time a major exporter of iron. India's iron and steel industry was intensive till the 18th century and declined only when the British started selling their own products. In fact, in a diary of a British soldier in the 17th century, he has written that around 200 kilns uh, were active all over India, including the Bengal, the Odisha, the Deccan, and the Rajasthan, which were producing the metals in different forms. And these metals were being exported. And so all these technology has been declined under the Britishers' rules. And the textual references which I have compiled include Rigveda, Arthashastra, Varhamitra, Nagarjuna, and Vagbhatta. In fact, this Ratnakar Samuchaya of Vagbhatta is a typical textbook style book which include the total chemistry in metallurgy, including the extraction, type of ores available, extraction of metals, how to purify that, how to heat treat that, how to alloy them. All these descriptions are there. I have taken some things to show you how richly it has been covered in our literature. And according to ancient Indian literature, gold, then silver, then copper, and then iron. And we were the first to make the alloys and bronzes and brass. And we were also knowing about the lead. In fact, the Rigveda itself contains 2-3 shlokas which describe lead. So this way we see that we have the very rich tradition of metallurgy. Next. So this is actually the map. It is disappeared. Can you? Hello.
Sriram, the screen has disappeared. Please check.
Right. I just wanted to ask Ram Prakash Sharma ji to stop presenting. I don't understand why Ram Prakash Sharma ji is trying to present here.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ram Prakash Sharma.
He has Professor Ramprakash Sharma. I have invited him for the meeting. He is from IIT Jodhpur.
Yes, he is sharing his screen with everyone. That's the reason why the presentation has gone down. But nonetheless,
You can ask him to stop, then our presentation will come.
Professor Ramprakash ji, both are presenting.
Ramprakash ji is not presenting.
No, he was presenting his screen. He was sharing his screen.
Okay. So if you can see this throughout the Indian map, you see there are the active mines present all over the Balochistan, the Deccans, the Odisha, and these things. And as I was mentioning, this description was there that 200 kilns all over India were active in the 17th century, 18th century, and this has been described by Britishers himself. Next. And if you find the archaeological evidences, around 26 places we have got the archaeological evidences which shows that metals are being extracted and metallic objects were in use throughout the India from early historic period. Next. This is the famous dancing girl Harappa civilization, and this is significant that it is very intricate casting, and which shows that lost wax casting technique was known to Indians, and it was being utilized at that time also. These are the other metallic objects from Gujarat, and this is fasting Sakyamuni, and this is another statue from the Gujarat. And this is Saraswati without halo, and this has been examined, the microstructure of these things, and it is alpha beta brass, and these some of these has been coated also with the uh, precious metals like silver and gold. And this is another story, another statue, Ambika, and this is these are other things, and this is the metallic compositions which has been tested by the different experts, and this is the microstructures. This is the lost wax techniques. If you see, this technique contains about the first you prepare a wax model, and then you build the mold, and then you heat it, and then wax is molten, and then wax is taken out, and then you can cast the metal. So this technique was prevalent in ancient India, by which the very intricate statues has been casted, and throughout India, these statues were being worshipped in different temples. The other technique was this gilding process, and this was using the mercury amalgam method. And in this cell, what they were doing, they were dipping the metal image in a weak acid bath and clean the surface thoroughly. Then mercury amalgam, which is a mixture of mercury and gold, and this amalgam was applied on the statue, and then this heat, after by heating this coated image uh, over a smokeless fire, this mercury get evaporated, and the coating, gold coating, remains adhered to the metals. This was a very known process. In fact, this paras patthar, there were discussions that using the paras pathars, by touching it to other metals, you can convert it into gold and metal. In fact, if you see Rasratnakar Samuchay and other work by Nagarjun, they are full of converting the lower metals into higher metals using these processes. The marvel of Indian art, metallurgy is this iron pillar of which is installed at Qutub Minar. This is considered from the Gupta era, and for thousands of years it is standing in the environment, climate of Delhi, and it is not rusted. So this tells about the metallurgical expertise available at that time, that it is corrosion resistance, number one. Number two, it is very tall. So how to prepare this tall beams, iron beams? It was a very state of the art technology by this wrought iron technique, this hot forging methods. They used to shape it, and then they used to hot welding also, forge welding also. This technique was known, and they were able to prepare these uh, pillars. This is not only for showing some victory or something, but as a construction, as a structural elements also, these pillars were being prepared. If you go to the Jagannath temples and Konark temples, these pillars has been utilized as a structural element. So these are in the Jagannath temples. You find these iron pillars there also being used in the as a structural elements. Next. So this was the process of hot forging of these pillars, and how to weld it. This was a very state of the art technology, and Indians were mastered in this technology. So these are the various steps which has been shown, that how this large beams has been prepared by preparing the metals in the batches, and then hot forging them and forge welding them. And this is the microstructure, this is the composition, and this shows the high phosphorus contents in these metals, and probably this high phosphorus is responsible for their corrosion resistance. And different metallurgists have find different composition, slightly variation in the composition is there, probably from where they have taken the samples, and because this has been prepared in the batch process, so variation in the composition, the carbon content, and this thing is present there. And this has been examined by various experts. Dr. Percy Brown of Roorkee University in 1876, then Professor Hadfield on which who is the inventor of Hatfield steels. He has also taken interest in this. He has analyzed this chemical compositions and microstructures, and he has found also that this was a very good technology available with the Indians. And this is the microstructure. This shows the entrapped slags in the microstructures, which was clear indication that during hot forging, partial liquefaction was taking place in this steels. The other marvel was the wood steel, as I was telling, that Indians were warrior. They were dominating the war scenario because of these steels. These were very sharp swords, and which were famous all over the world. And this is known as the wood steel, also known as the Damishq steel, because Europe has found them from the Syria, and this Damishq market was very famous at that time for these type of blades. But descriptions are there in some books that this knowledge has gone from Deccan, from South India to Europe, and through Arabs, and from North India also. When the Mahmud Ghaznavi comes in India, invading the temples, he has also taken this knowledge. Many Sanskrit texts were taken with him, and when many knowledgeable pandits from North India has gone to Iraq, and they were in the darwars of court of Khalifa, and they have translated many Sanskrit texts. The microstructure of this these steels, and these steels, these samples were shown from Jodhpur, Mehrangarh, Durg, and while making these steels, the heat treatment process was also known to Indians, and that is how they were making them sharp and very strong and very tough. So this is how this has been described, the different, how the process, how they were making. Next one. And evidences are there that Alexander has taken these things. Now this is the third marvel of Indian metallurgy, ancient metallurgy. This is the zinc, about the zinc. Zinc, as you know, that it is melting point is around 425, and the boiling point is around 800, 900. So when you are melting and extracting the zinc, it is generally getting evaporated. So it is very difficult to extract this. All the metallurgical people from metallurgical background knows this. But Indians has developed a very innovative technique of reverse distillation, and those retorts has been found in the Jawar mines of Rajasthan. And these mines were operating since around 2000, 3000 years back. And these are the actual photos of Jawar mines, sir, where they have arranged these retorts, and this process has been used to extract the zinc, as well as zinc and copper to make the brass also. These are the actual photos of the retorts found in the Jawar mines. And this is the process schematic representation, how they were producing this. In fact, in the Ratnakar Samuchaya, I will show you, sir, they have described different types of ladles, different types of furnaces, different types of ores, and how to extract these different metals. This is another views of these retorts. You can see these retorts, and this is arrangement how to in the multiple numbers, how they were arranging them. Next one. And if you come to the textual these things in the Rigved Samhita itself, there is a description of Sapta Dhatu, 7 metals, and they were knowing that these 7, if you know the knowledge of these 7 metals, you will become very wealthy and these things. So they were praying to the Lord Indradeva to provide the 7 metals to them. And this is about what we were discussing, the iron beam making technology. In fact, in the making the forts and these things, this technology was being utilized, and they were called there were in the forts they were using it in plenty to defend itself and to make them unwinnable from the enemies. So there is a description of cities of irons. This is the description about the gold which was used as the currency and these things. This is the description of that shields. Next one. This is about the agriculture. This hull, making hull from the iron. The description is there in the Rig Veda. And this is about the gold description, how the kings were giving these golds and these things. So description of gold is there. Next one. And now if you see, one beautiful book is there, History of Hindu Chemistry by Professor Praful Chandra Ray, who was the head of the chemistry in the Kolkata University in 17th, 18th century. And this he has written very clearly that this knowledge of Indian metallurgy has gone to Arab. And there is a book called Kitab al-Fahrist, which is who wrote towards the middle of the 10th century, Hazi Khalifa and Ibn Abu Usabiya, who flourished at the commencement of the 13th century, distinctly mentioned that by order of the Khalifa Harun and Mansur, several standard Hindu works of medicine, material medica, and therapeutics were translated into Arabic. The information on the subject has been gathered at length by guides in his Analytica Medica and author of Gestite der Arab. What is the? It shows that the knowledge originated from India. It has traveled to Arab, from Arab to Europe, and that is how it has spread in the world. And so Kitab al-Farist is the has mentioned Sushrut, which is the Sanskrit name from Sushruta, thus corrupted into Arabic, and was translated by monk the India, who cured Harun al-Rashid of a severe illness and was appointed physician in charge of the royal hospital. In fact, this dynasty is still active in the Arab, and this is the descendant from Indian origin, this thing. And so he has written in very deeply about this, how this knowledge has gone into this, and about the different technologies also he has mentioned, Professor Ray. So now I am coming to the two texts of the Sanskrit Ratnakar Samuchya by Professor by Acharya Bhagvat, and this was written in 13th century, and in fact he has compiled it. And similarly, the Nagarjuna has also compiled his book in the 6th, 7th or 8th century. And this knowledge is prevalent from the age-old technology. If you see, even during the Lord Ram also, he has got this knowledge from Rishi Vishwamitra and Rishi Vasishta, and in the south also from Rishi Agastya, how to make different weapons. So these technologies were available in the Rishi Muni's ashrams, and two universities, Nalanda and Takshila, were teaching these technologies. So in this Rasratnakar, he is mentioning that Shuddha Loham Kanak Rastam Bhanu Lohas Masaram Puti Loham Ditya Muditam Nag Vega Dhanam Vishra Loham Priya Muditam Pitlam Kasyavartam Dhatu Lohi Lohiti Mati Suapi Karsharth. So he has told that gold, silver, copper, and iron, these are the pure metals. Then lead and tin are the Puti Loha, and Pital, Kansa, and Bharat Mishra Loha. So these are the description from the Rashtatnakar about the seven metals. And if you see, they were getting the source of this metal ores were volcano eruptions. It is very good description of how it is coming out from volcano and how this is flowing from the mountains, and how it is getting stuck into the different crevices in the earth, and from where they were using mining it. And 8 ores has been mentioned in this, which is Abrakanta, Makchi, Vimla, Dusrashakram, Chaplo, Rasko, Kshruti, Gyata, Ashto, Sungredusan. So all these 8 ores were known to them. They were mining it. There are description of mines also, from underground mines also. You can see this mining process. how they were extracting it from the earth. And this is how they were smelting the iron, taking out the iron. And similarly, from the different Nila Thota and other ores, they were taking out the different metals. So this is iron, about the iron smelting. From the Shilaji, they were taking out this. And this is the about the zinc smelting, sir. And this is the complete description of this process is there. How they were taking the ores, this is known as the khaparia, and how they were mixing it with the different other materials naturally occurring, and how they were putting it in the to the firing, and how they were extracting it, and then how they were purifying it. Also, that description is also given. And this is again zinc smelting, and this is about this what the description of reverse distillation process, and those retorted, how they were prepared and how they are doing. So all this description is there. Next one. And this is about the mercury extraction, sir. From the henguls, they were extracting the mercury by distillation, and this process is given. And this is about the Vartaloha, Bharataloha, in which they were mixing the 5 metals, and from those metals they were preparing. In fact, this is very auspicious metals, and even now we are using these rings in our these things for the astrological purposes. This is the how they were preparing this metals. And there is a description how to prepare an alloy, and they are. It is clearly written that first you melt one metals, and then you put another metals, and by blowing the air you can mix these metals properly. So this description is there. And this is again alloying. And then different type of coals have also been described for different extraction of different metals. Which type of wood coal you should use for which metal extraction. A detailed description is there in the book. And using the hengul for mercury extraction, this is the description. Now the heat treatment process is also given for, especially as I was mentioning with the wood steels and with this Damashq swords, and they were giving heat treatment after melting the metal. They were putting water on this, and carbonizing process was also known to make it very sharp and very hard and tough also. And then they were knowing from the flame color when the metal has been melted, totally melted. They have written that when the flame color is shown about is showing the metal's color, then you should know that the no metal has been extracted. And this is what the metal coating process from mercury, what I have described earlier. This is clearly written the how you are coating metal using the mercury amalgamation process. And silver and gold has been were being coated to enhance the aesthetic appeal as well as the cost of the lower metals. And a lot of cheating was also going on at that time. And in the Arthas, you find various laws how to punish, how much punishment should be given a person who is doing mixing in the gold and all those. And in the Arthastra, it is written there was a different, a ministry itself has been there for mining and metals. So much importance has been given to this mining and metallurgy. And different type of equipments also has been described in this book, sir. So this book is a typical, sir, textbook styles book written, and different type of equipments has been described in details how to prepare those equipments or where to use those equipments. So Swadhani Yantra, Patna Yantra, Dola Yantra, all these has been described. And this Rasatnakar has been English translated by Professor Roy in his book, and I have taken from him also. But it is the same things which he has translated into the English. So I will go through them fast. So it was basically Tantra, this Vam Margi, which has taken this knowledge, and it was a dirty work actually considered. So it was, you can say, the workshop of this making the metals. They were outside the city, and various descriptions are there how this workshop should be situated, what type of different compartments should be there, where to place what things. All this description is there in these books, and this is how this has been described to various yantra. This is Garbha yantra. This is next one. Crucibles has been also been described how to prepare the crucible. Mainly the earthen pots and iron pots were being used uh, uh, for extracting these, melting these metals and these things. And Garbha yantra, then different crucibles are there. The description of, we were also in knowledge of acids and alkalis and how to extract them, and some descriptions are there, and test of pure metals also. This has been covered in these granthas. Extraction of zinc from calamine, so brass from calamine, and copper from the pyrites. Then Saurashtra copper was also there. So these all this description is there. Next one, and this is another thing, sir. Actually, this description is there for medicinal values, and Indians were first to recognize the role of minerals in human body. So, in fact, these all these metal extraction was being done to prepare its amalgam with the mercury, and which was called as rasras. And these metals, different type of metals, when prepared properly, they were good for the health. But if it is not treated properly, then it was injurious. All these descriptions are there. So we were the first to use these metals for medicinal values. And how to test for killed mercury is also there. These are the different apparatus, pictorial view of the this thing. So this is about all about this ancient metallurgy, what I could find in the books and I could present there. Uh, I am really thankful to this Maharshi Institute, Research Institute of Vedic Technology. In fact, Sastry is the authority on the subject, and this institute is doing commendable job. And when he visited Defense Laboratory Jodhpur, my interaction with him was very, very fruitful, and I am very much impressed that this institute is carrying on now, reviving some of these old technologies, and in the current references, if those technologies, those processes can be useful for solving many problems which the modern metallurgy is facing. In fact, one of the problem is the how to extract aluminium at the room temperature or at lower temperature or by thermal these things, or can we extract aluminium by mercury process. All these research can be carried out, and I'm not on authority on these things. I have simply I'm a good reader, and I try to compile these things and present it to you. And I'm very, very grateful to Sastry ji for giving me this chance to speak to this August gathering. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Ji Ravindra ji.
sir.
And we are very happy having you, and you have supported us a lot when we visited Jodhpur, and the same project is going on now.
Sir.
So we can't forget your support and encouragement for SRIVT. And really, we are doing good work with the help of you. I am working on this for last 25 years. It is not sufficient. I think 100 universities can focus on ancient research even for next 100 years, even though the total knowledge can't come out. So we are trying to do something. Our institute is well equipped, and we have complete high-end facilities for the metallurgy and materials now. We have XRD and all other facilities. In our international Vedic conference, which is going to be held, please save your dates, and we will meet and we will form a international group which group will work on ancient metallurgy and materials. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So next, Dr. Swarup D.
Hi sir, very nice lecture. I just wanted to ask one doubt. We have seen the use of metals in war and weaponry and in religious purposes, while like Panchaloha Vigrahas and all those things. Was metal used in construction also, like how we use for beams and all that in building houses? Were there references of metals being used in construction also in ancient India?
Yes, I have shown you, sir, this Jagannath temple and these things. These iron pillars were being used for structural purposes also to give the support. And there is description in this Rig Veda itself, this city of irons. So iron was being used for this construction, but to support this RCC and this thing, those context, they were not there. At that time, the construction was from stones and this thing, and bricks also, but not for that purpose, but to support the roofs and these things, iron pillars were being utilized. That is the description is there. And then for making the gates and these things, those things to make them invincible by the enemy, they were being used in the forts and this thing.
Also, are there any corporate firms which are doing research in this field? Individuals like yourselves?
No, I have not done any research in this fields. I have only compiled the various from the various texts and the ancient text, which actually we all know that iron pillar is there and these things, but how it is being prepared and these things, that I have tried to search and from the original text, and I found that it is full of metallurgical descriptions. The full processes have been given there. So that way, I am not aware if any corporate house is doing this, is interested. But if somebody is interested, then we can support him and these things, because it requires a certain amount of investment, and we have to like this. From Sanatana to Sanootana, what Sastry has used for this, this is required. How the ancient knowledge can be used in the current context, that we should focus on this.
Next, Dr. Vrindavan.
Namaste. It's a wonderful exposition into the very in-depth insight into the ancients' expertise of metallurgy and metallurgical techniques in India. Sir, I have a small question to you.
Yeah.
We keep on hearing about the transmutation of the metals, most prominently, production of gold from the mercury. The people keep on talking, and then at least, I heard a number of instances that, ancient India knew the technology or the technique of transmutating a metal. And simply what I look at is if I look at from the periodic table, it is, it looks something like this, from the mercury's atomic number from 80 to Rn, they have to convert to the 79. Means, at least, from a common sense point of view, it requires a huge amount of energy, and it is a highly technologically intensive process. And all I wanted to know was whether there is any authentic literary reference to the procedures which people keep on claiming about it.
No, in this Rasratnakar, sir, I have seen many this shlokas which is converting lower metals into higher metals. But what I am taking it from the scientifically, it's not exactly converting, say, this copper to gold on these things. It is the coating process by which they were putting the coating on these things using the mercury amalgamation process. And as a scientist, I think converting a metal into higher metal is required. Changing its atomic numbers and these things, which is not possible chemically. That is what as a scientist, my opinion is there. But if any such a process is there, we have to see if it is possible. Those slokas are there to convert these things, but probably it is only the quoting. That is my this thing. But we have to confirm them. Those things has to be researched actually. How to convert lower metals into higher metals. Description is there in these books also. Description is there that they were able to convert silver into gold and copper into silver like this. But probably this was only a coating. That is my personal opinion. Thank you.
Sir, some are queries in the chart, sir. Ravindraji.
Yeah.
Is there any government agency which supports the research activity about the ancient process of metallurgy?
We can approach the DST, Department of Science and Technology, and some department we can approach, and probably they will be supported, sir.
Exclusively on this.
We have to make a proposal and then approach the government.
Sir, I found Dr. R.V. Haraprasad attended this meeting. Now, when he left the meeting, I saw his name because I am.
I invited him actually, sir. I have sent.
I am very sorry that after you, as a director of Haraprasad Garu, also supported a lot. But I found him when he left. Please convey my acknowledgements to him also.
Yeah.
So another question from the chart, sir. Ravindraji, sir.
Yeah.
So Hindu chemistry should be included in National Education Policy of 2020 that Prime Minister was recommending, sir. Please see that it gets included, sir.
I think it's a good idea. We can propose this thing to Government of India. That
please.
This book is very good book, very good compilation.
Thank you, Professor Kupanidhi, sir.
Yeah.
Now we would like to conclude the session. If there are no more questions, we would like to thank Shri Ravindra Kumar ji for his taking time to present the history and also the technologies on this metallurgy of ancient India, and very illuminating talk. A lot of information has come how great our science was in the past in the metallurgy. And I thank all the participants who are taken time to be present here and sparing your time and listening to and contributing through your informations and questions. I think as Professor Dr. Sastry Garu has mentioned, there is a long way to go for us by forming group and taking it forward so that this knowledge continues to percolate in the society. I think a long way we have to go, and let us make a beginning now. And with this, I thank the speaker and all the distinguished participants who are here, and we'll close the session here. Thank you very much.
Sahana Babatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahavidyangarabahe, Tejasvinavadhi Damastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve Jana Shigno Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Shigno Bhavantu. Thank you all.